Hi, my name is Den. Welcome to my channel. This is an acoustic guitar worship tutorial for the song This Is Our God by Phil Wickham, Stephen Furtick, Brandon Lake, and Pat Barrett. The song is in the key of C at 4/4 time and 80 beats per minute. I made another video where I show you how to play this using C-shaped chords. So check out that video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a capo and play using G shapes, and then you can move the capo around to change keys really easily. So let's get into the song. I have my capo on the 5th fret, so when I play a G chord, it's going to come out as a C chord to everybody else. They're going to hear it as a C chord. So I'm going to play capoed 5 to match the recording. If you want to play it in the key of B, you capo 4, B flat, capo 3, you want to play it in A, capo 2, and if you just want to play it in G, take the capo completely off. So you can change the key however you want to play the song. First, let's talk strum patterns. A really basic strum pattern would be down, up on 16th notes. So I'm just going down, up, 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 down, up on 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Or you can do 8th notes on the 1 and the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all down strums. So you have 16th notes, which is all down ups, or just straight downs on the 8th notes. So for the intro of the song, it's going to be a G chord for 4 beats, and then G suspended for 2 beats, and then back to a G. So the only thing that's changing for me is on the B string itself. I've got my 3rd finger when there's a G chord or G5, and then play suspended. I just want to lift up that finger and put my index finger on the 1st fret, relative to the capo, of course. So G, and then pick up your ring finger and put your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string to give you G suspended. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then G suspended for 2, and then back to G. If you're doing it with 16th notes, it would sound like this. If you're doing it with 8th note down strums, it would sound like this. And you do that twice. So here is the intro using 16th notes. G, G suspended, G, G, G suspended, G. And then you go into verse number 1. Another option is to try to incorporate some of the melody. If you're playing by yourself, or if you're the second guitar player, you could play some of the melody that you hear the electric guitar playing, because they're playing the following notes. You kind of hear another instrument doing that, either electric or piano. So that's just on the D string twice, and then the G string twice, while you have your G chord formed. And then go back to the D string. And you want to play 3rd fret on the A string, which gives you the C note. So I'm playing 3rd, 2nd on the A string, and then 3rd twice, and then 2nd. So D string twice, G string twice, D string once, and then all the rest of it happens on the A string. So it's kind of like playing a C chord, the G over B, and the C chord and G over B. So it sounds like this. So if you're playing by yourself, you can do that. Now, if you're playing with a whole band, you probably don't want to play all of that. Just let the other band members play that. You can also play the melody down here on the B and the E strings. So I'm playing twice on the 3rd fret of the B, twice on the 3rd fret of the E, and then back to the 3rd fret of the B string. And then you want to play 1st fret of the B string. And then open on the B, and then twice on the 1st fret, and then open. So it would sound like this. So there's a couple different options for the intro. For verse number 1 of the song, you can do either the 8th note down strum, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or you can do the 16th notes. So it's going to be a G. Remember those walls that we call sin and shame. E minor. They were like prisons that we couldn't escape. D suspended, but he came and he died. C, and he rose. Those walls are rubble now. G, and then G suspended, and then G. Verse 2. Remember those giants we called death and grave. That was G and then G suspended on death, and then G on grave, and then E minor. They were like mountains that stood in our way. Stood is going to be a C2 over E. So you just want to go from your E minor to play this C note, but also add the E in the bass. So a better way to do it, instead of doing an E minor, might be to play a G over B, but with the E note ringing out, and then play your C note on stood in our way, and then back to the E minor, which is a G over B with the E in the bass. So it'd be like this. They were like mountains that stood in our way, but he came, D suspended, and he died, and he rose. C, those giants are dead now. That's G suspended, and then, G and then G suspended and back to a G. Let's play that again. Verse 1. Remember those walls that we call sin and shame. That was a G, and now E minor. They were like prisons that we couldn't escape. D suspended, but he came, and he died, and he rose. Those walls are rubble now. G, G suspended, G. Remember those giants we called death and grave. Then E minor, but play it with a G over B with the E in the bass. They were like mountains that stood in our way, and D suspended, but he came, and he died, and he rose. C, those giants are dead now. G. And then you go into the chorus of the song. For the chorus of the song, you want to do 8th notes, down strums. Oh, this is our God, this is who he is. He loves us, and this is our God. It's just doing 8th notes the whole time. On the recording, it sounds like they're doing a quick every time they change a chord. So you want to get to the point where you can go from 8th notes to this. So this is all 8th notes. To throw in some 16th notes whenever you want. So you may have to practice this. So say you want to do it on beat 2 and beat 4, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a. So the whole trick is just to get to where you can switch back and forth whenever you want to. So if you're playing the chorus and doing the quicker down up whenever you change chords, it would sound like this. Oh, this is our God. This is who he is. He loves us. This is our God. This is what he does. He saves us. So every time you're changing a chord, you want to do a fast strum. So it's going to be different every single time. So the chorus goes like this. It's G over B. Oh, this is our God, to a C. This is who he is, a G. And then D suspended. He loves us, to D. Or you could say a G over a D to a D, but I'm going to do a D suspended to a D. and then G over B. This is our God, to a C. This is what he does, is a G. And then he saves us, is D suspended, D. He bore the cross, is a G over B, to a C. Beat the grave, is G. Let heaven, that's a D, and earth proclaim, that's an E minor. And then D, this is our God, is a C2. And then King Jesus, that's a D suspended on the first syllable of Jesus. And you want to just kind of ring that out on the very first chorus. So here is the first chorus if you just do straight down strums. This is our God, this is who he is. He loves us. And this is our God, this is what he does. He saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave. Let heaven and earth proclaim, this is our God, King Jesus. And then you want to go back into the 16th note strums for the interlude to a G chord, and then G suspended, G. And then you go into verse number 3. If you want to play the chorus where you're doing the faster strums, whenever you change chords, it would sound like this. Oh, this is our God, this is who he is. He loves us. And this is our God, this is what he does. He saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave. Let heaven and earth proclaim, this is our God, King Jesus. For verse number 3 of the song, it's going to start out on a G chord. Remember that fear that took our breath away. E minor. With faith so weak that we could barely pray. But he heard, that's a D suspended, every word, every whisper, it's a C. G. Now those altars in the wilderness. So on wilder, you want to go to G suspended. And then on Ness, go back to G. And then E minor. Tell the story of his faithfulness. So that's a E minor, which I would probably play like a G over B with the E string ringing to give me the E minor feel. Tell the story of his faithfulness. So faithful is a C2 over an E. So I'm just going from the G2 or G over B with the E ringing. Just putting my second finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, but letting all 6 strings ring again, and then back to the E minor or G over B with an E in the bass. Never once, that's D suspended, did he fail, and he never will. That's a C. And then to get into the chorus, you want to go to a G, but this time you want to do all straight strums. And this is our God. And then we go into the chorus. So after verse number 3 in the song, you go into the chorus again. So let me just play through that really lightly. This is our God. So that was G over B to C. This is who he is. That's a G. And D suspended, D. He loves us. G over B. This is our God to C. This is what he does. That's a G. He saves us. So that was D suspended, D. And then G over B to C. He bore the cross. And then a G. Beat the grave. And then D. Let heaven and earth proclaim. E minor. This is a D. This is our God. C. And then D suspended. King Jesus. And then you go into the bridge of the song. To go from that chorus to the bridge, you want to play 3 beats on a G. G over B with a little bit of a ring out there, and then a C to get to the bridge. So here's the last line of the chorus. This is our God, King Jesus, G. G over B, C, and then you're into the bridge. For the bridge of the song, you just want to be really light on your strums, so either all down strums on 8th notes, or if you're going to do 16th notes, just play them really lightly. It's It's going to start on a C major 7 chord. I'm going to play a C add 9. Although most of the charts that I've seen show a C major 7, so you could play that. But I'm just going to play C add 9. Who pulled me out of that pit? He did, he did. That's D over F sharp. I am playing a D2 over F sharp, but I'm not really even hitting the bottom strings. I'm just hitting that note and maybe one or two of these notes. And then G. Who paid for all of our sin? Nobody but Jesus. G over B to C. Who pulled me out of that pit? He did. He did. That's D over F sharp and then G. Who paid for all of our sin? Nobody but Jesus is after the sus on G is the G over B, and then you go into bridge number 2. For bridge number 2 of the song, I'm going to start on a C chord. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. That's D over F sharp, and then back to a G. Who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but G. And then on the sus of G, you want to go to the G over B, and then back to a C. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. That's a D. I'm going to play just a D suspended. I just don't really ever hit the small string on that. And then E minor. Who gets the glory and praise? And then D suspended. And then the yells, nobody but him, with a big ring out. And then you go into the last chorus of the song. For the last chorus of the song, you're just going to play it really loud. Oh, this is our God. This is who He is. He loves us. And this is our God. This is what He does. He saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave. Let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. And then go into the tag of the song to end it. So after the last chorus of the song, you're going to go into the tag, and to get there you just do straight down strums, and then play the G over B for He bore. He bore the cross, that's a C. Beat the grave, that's a G. And heaven and earth, heaven is a D. Earth proclaim, that's E minor, and then D. This is our God, C. King Jesus, D suspended. And then you want to go back to the 8th notes, or 16th note strums on a G. And then G suspended, G. This is our God, E minor. And then G suspended over a C, and then G over C, and then G. So for that last little part, the little outro there, you're playing a G for 4 counts, and then G suspended for 2, and then back to a G where you start singing, if you're singing it, oh, this is our God, E minor. And then it says a G suspended over C on most charts. I'm just going to play a C like this for 2 beats. And then I'm going to play, just picking up my index finger for 2 beats and then to a G. Or a G like this. So it would be, or like this. So let me play the tag. He bore the cross, beat the grave, let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. Oh, this is our God. So that's the song, This Is Our God, made popular by Phil Wickham. I do have another video where I show you how to play this song using C-shaped chords. So check out that video if you want to learn how to play it using the open C chords. If you want to stay up to date on my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up down below, and have a great day.